Well, hey, my brother, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good. So, how's everything in the world of climate change today?
That's pretty good. The weather has been hot, but it's just starting to cool down. It hasn't rained here actually in a few weeks. I think it's been usually our monsoon season seemed like it got cut short. This
Yeah.
year. And the temperature was really high into September, like it was in the hundreds. So
We're going to need more power for things like electric cars.
So we're gonna need more power.
we're needed for other things too, right? Like you were talking about the electric cars.
Electric cars.
So
yeah.
right now, they're only 6 or 7% of all cars in the United States are electric. But according to the policies of the EPA, if the EPA rules are the way they are now with clean air, we're going to have 60 to 70%
Woo!
of clean vehicles.
That's cool.
Do you think our grid can handle that, or what do you think?
That is a tenfold increase in electric cars and in power consumption. That's 10 times the amount that we have now. That's a huge amount of power. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be another demand.
It appears that much of our policies are geared towards eliminating fossil fuels and having them replaced by 100% clean energy by 2035.
A lot of things that we're kind of not necessarily going down the right path. We're trying to reduce our percentage of fossil fuels on our grid too. We're trying to get down to, at some point, no fossil fuels. That's the goal, right? But
Yeah, they want to phase out the coal plants. So
right.
We're creating more laws to reduce our carbon emissions, because I think with the administration that's in right now, they want to have 100% clean energy, no carbon emissions by 2035.
So that means no coal, no natural gas.
I would think, unless you do a carbon capture.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about that.
If they do carbon capture, they may let us do that.
Even though coal plants emit the most carbon dioxide compared to all other power plants, it would not be wise to eliminate them as a principal energy source.
Some people are worried about the coal plants though, because right now coal plants produce about twice the amount of CO2 as a natural gas plant does. That's one of the reasons why we reduced our CO2 footprint in the United States over the last 10, 15 years, is because we transitioned a lot of our plants from coal to natural gas, and so it greatly reduced our CO2 output. However, now we're kind of at the point where, everybody's saying, let's get rid of coal plants altogether. Well, if we do that, we just talked about 3 or 4 reasons why energy consumption is going to go up, and so maybe doing that may put us in sort of a bind, and that where solar and wind may not solve.
Clean coal plants, called integrated gasification and combined cycles, can produce not only clean power but a lot of products like chemicals and fuels as well.
There's a way to produce clean burning coal. So that might be something that we're going to bring up here that could be a solution to give us more power, yet not pollute, not put out CO2 so much.
So what they do first is they gasify the coal. And when you gasify it, you don't combust it directly like you do in regular coal plants. You indirectly heat it, and it gives off synthesis gas. But the power with these plants is the synthesis gas, because you can have what are called polygeneration carbon capture or IGCC plants, and they can do more than just create electricity. They can produce a lot of other gases like methane and hydrogen, and then they can produce chemicals and for vehicle fuels as well.
There you go.
So you can make a chemical industry and you can get your fertilizer from it too.
These clean coal plants use carbon capture units with amine solvents that tend to cost a lot of money.
So is it possible to build a clean burning coal plant with very little CO2 emissions?
Yeah, you can build it with little to no emissions. You use carbon capture units. And so what those do is they have, they're called amine scrubbers. And so then they have like an amine solvent, and you pump in that carbon dioxide and it captures it, and then you send it to another column, and the other one heats it, and it takes out that carbon dioxide, and you compress it and use it for other uses. So, but yeah, the carbon capture units aren't cheap. They cost several $1 million to install in the existing coal plants.
Are they giving credits for those though right now? The government, the EPA.
I don't know. I think they are giving some.
Recycling the carbon dioxide from coal plants would be ideal. In fact, one could make more chemicals and vehicle fuels with just carbon dioxide and hydrogen.
That's one way to recycle the CO2 instead of using natural gas to make CO2. Let's use that CO2 that they're capturing, right? Well, yeah, I mean, so you take the CO2, put it in tanks, and you can ship it out to all these places. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of what we can do with the CO2 in making other chemicals. What y'all saying there's some more things you do with after you synthesize the gas. If you get hydrogen and carbon dioxide, you can make even more things, right?
Yeah, so like I said, the coal plants can make hydrogen. They could compress that. They could make some carbon dioxide and compress it. And when you combine the two together, either from like you do a fermentation system or you have an electrochemical system where you add a little bit of electricity in, then you can make all types of chemicals. You can make vehicle fuel.
So recycle the CO2. If a president ran on that platform, I'd say I'm all for that. I'm all for that candidate.
Yeah.
These clean coal plants already capture the carbon dioxide, but they cost a lot of money to construct.
Yeah. Well, I think what they could do is build these clean coal power plants. They should do those because those are already set up to capture the carbon dioxide. Right. Even though they cost a lot, I mean, these plants aren't cheap. But we were talking about nuclear too.
Right. I think we're big fans of nuclear.
Yeah, there's several billion a piece, but I mean, if climate change is that important, then I think they would do that.
But how much does it cost?
Yeah, these plants are cheap. They cost between $2 and $3 billion a piece for like a mid-size, like 500 megawatt one, because they're like between $5,000-$6,000 per kilowatt. Is what they say they cost.
That's a lot.
And then when you capture the carbon, there's also an operational cost to that. It's like between $30 and $80 per ton. The thing is, we have 400 years of coal, or several hundred years of coal left,
Right.
We have the power to do these things, whereas other countries don't have that flexibility. And so if we go too far down one road where it's all like one types of power sources and we don't start diversifying our power, it might be a little harder to do that,
Yeah,
So
I agree.
like trying this stuff right now would be good.
We need to utilize the coal resources we have right now to diversify our power needs instead of waiting too long to change things.
Yeah, think of it. We got a huge amount, probably the biggest source of energy we have is coal right now in this country. We take that, we make it clean burning so we don't create more problems with, the warming up the atmosphere. And we create the whole huge industry based on other products as well that surrounded that we just talked about. So that would be to me, it seemed like a tremendously good thing to do for not only the economy but for the environment as well.
So what's the takeaway message there?
Well, we have to diversify, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our grid, because demand is going up. There's more people in the country, so demand is increasing. We have to diversify. We can't reduce one of our most abundant energy sources. That's going to be hard to do and keep up with the demand. We don't think solar and wind are great. Let's keep producing those, but they may not be the only thing that'll solve the problem, unless we're going to build more nuclear plants, which we don't think we're doing right now. So clean burning coal, man, I think we need to do that, and we need to reuse the CO2 for industries.
Nice. Yeah.
Create jobs, create efficiencies.
Very good.
Okay, well, on that note, keep on researching.
Yeah.
All you people out there to find ways that we can look at what the systems we're using and try to make them better so we can reduce our CO2, yet we can provide all the necessities of life. All right, man. Okay, so until next time, we're the Climate Change Brothers. We're here to educate as much as we can. So,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.